Hey, it's a new day and a new video, and today we are talking about forgiveness, the importance of it, and why you deserve to forgive right now. I know that people talk about forgiveness all the time, especially when it comes to talking about forgiveness to others and how forgiveness isn't for anyone else, it's for yourself. And in this video, I'm truly going to break down why you need to forgive others and also yourself. Forgiveness allows you to let go of the weight that you have been carrying. There is a weight that you are carrying when you don't forgive others or when you don't forgive yourself, and that weight is really heavy. It is physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually draining. It can literally manifest as stress. It can manifest as sickness. It can manifest as uneasiness and anxious thoughts. It can manifest as you being drained day in and day out because you can't fully trust people, because you can't fully trust yourself, because you can't fully show up for yourself. That's what it looks like. And there's another path, there's another option for you. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video, is truly forgiving and letting go of, number one, the hurt, and letting go of the guilt. I just named two, right? Out of the six heavy emotions that I continue to talk about. Those are the emotions that are meant to be felt, but we're so shamed of feeling those emotions that instead of feeling them, we just carry them. And they get really heavy over time. When you haven't forgiven yourself or you haven't forgiven others, it's like you're attempting to fly with a 50-pound weight attached to you. You don't win. So let's get into it. For those who don't know me, I am Imani Adia, the founder of Soul 360 and the creator of the Limitless Method. And I help founders, creatives, and leaders just like you to release, define, and align with their most limitless self. I've already spoken about hurt and I've already spoken about guilt, but I really want to get down into what are those, right? Hurt happens when someone else has done something to you, while guilt is when you are ashamed by the actions that you have taken. And so when we talk about forgiveness, and we talk about forgiveness specifically with someone else, it's really important that we acknowledge that just because you forgive others, that doesn't mean that you are okay with what they did. Just because you forgive others, it doesn't mean that you are now going to reconcile and you are now going to have them in your life again. You forgiving them doesn't mean that you are now dismissing or neglecting your own emotions. It doesn't mean that you are dismissing how much you felt hurt by the actions that they took. What forgiveness is, right? When you forgive others for yourself, what you are doing, what you are saying is, I'm not going to allow this situation to have control over my life anymore. I'm not going to allow it to stop me from being loved or loving others. I'm not going to allow this situation to stop me from living my life and living it to the fullest. Because so many times when we think that we're holding a grudge against others, we're really holding a grudge against ourselves. Because that one action, that one situation that we were in with someone else can truly cause us to not trust and can cause us to not show up. It can cause us to take a step back and not be present because we are afraid of being hurt again. And so the best thing that you can do for yourself is to say, right, this happened. I'm going to take the lesson. I've either learned something about you or I've learned something about myself, or both, which is great. And you allow that to then inform your next decision, not control your next decision. And I understand that forgiving someone can be so difficult, and it can be even harder, right, when the person hasn't apologized. It can be harder when the person hasn't acknowledged what they've done. It can be harder when that person is out living their life and you feel like you are still stuck replaying how they have wronged you. But the key word there is that you are still stuck, and you don't have to be. You don't have to continue to carry that hurt with you. You can forgive, and you can forgive for the sake of yourself and not them. Because whether you want to acknowledge it or not, replaying that hurt over and over and over again, allowing that hurt to consume you and for you to carry it, it's disrupting your peace. And that's not helping out anybody. And then there's this other part of forgiveness, right? That other part is being able to forgive yourself. It's about you releasing the guilt. And what's so interesting when it comes to forgiving ourselves, there are people, right, who hold themselves to these impossible standards. There are people who do not allow themselves the same grace that they give to others. There are people, right, who believe that they should be punishing themselves for the rest of their lives based off of a decision that they made that they knew was wrong. And you forgiving yourself doesn't mean that you're not holding yourself accountable. You forgiving yourself doesn't mean that you are dismissing the behavior that you did. You forgiving yourself doesn't mean that you're off the hook. If anything, you carrying guilt tells me that you are ready to release it. You carrying guilt tells me that you understand that what you did in that moment, the behavior that you displayed, was wrong. You understand that you should have been better in that moment, that you could have been better in that moment, and that you want to be better. That in the future, you would love to do something differently because what you did was wrong and it didn't reflect who you truly are. And I'll also say to you, you were doing the best you could at that time with what you had. And if the best you could at that time was you acting in a way that you weren't proud of, that means that you need to take it upon yourself to do some of that inner work, for you to gather those tools, for you to gather those resources, so that when another moment arises, instead of reacting, you can respond. Instead of reacting, you will train your body, you will program your mind to take a breath and say, let's respond to this in a way that I can be proud of. And there's tools and there's resources for you to do that. But you have to forgive yourself. You cannot hold yourself in this prison of punishment for the rest of your life because you don't deserve it. You are missing out on all the good that can be coming into your life because you believe that one decision, that one behavior that you did should have you hold your feet to the fire for the rest of your life. And it's just not true. What self-forgiveness allows you to do is to be able to show up for yourself, to be able to love on yourself. And through that, you are then able to acknowledge, learn, and grow. And that's the reason why we've been put on this earth, right? To continuously grow and be the best version of ourselves. And you are committed to that growth, or you wouldn't even be watching this video. And so how do we move forward, right? You move forward by truly releasing what is no longer serving you, that hurt and that guilt. And this video is special because I want to leave you off with some purpose work, right? And I call it purpose work instead of homework because this is work that truly has a purpose behind it. This work is really about you being able to continue to acknowledge, learn, and grow. And so what I want you to do right now is I want you to get out a sheet of paper and I want you to write down who it is that you need to forgive, whether that is someone else or that is yourself. I then want you to click the link within the description that says forgiveness meditation. You're going to open up that link. You're going to do what is said to do in that meditation. And after you complete it, I want you to come back to this video and I want you to write, I am practicing forgiveness. Forgiveness is something we have to start normalizing for others and also for ourselves. This is a forgiveness movement. I believe in you. I believe that you can show yourself the same grace that you show one of your best friends. That's the way that you think about it, right? Be a friend to yourself in this moment because you deserve it. Until next time, I'm Imani Adia. Click on that forgiveness meditation and give yourself that gift today. And of course, as always, be limitless.